Good afternoon once more. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Topista Karani. I am a communications officer at the African Population and Health Research Center, and I will be here running the webinar for today. We are going to delve into discovery research with our speaker, Elizabeth Kimani, and I will hand over this session to Bernard Ondiek, my colleague, who will take us through what the ARSH program is, as well as invite our speaker for the day. Thank you so much and welcome, Bernard. Bernard, you can hear me? Hello, Bernard, can you hear me? Elizabeth, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now hear, sorry.
All
I
right,
was using a different gadget. Yeah, sorry.
All right, thank you. Welcome. Just before you begin, Bernard, a little housekeeping rules. We would like you to have a very interactive session. So we would love to hear from you, your thoughts as we go through the webinar. Please feel free to pose any questions you might have on our Q&A section that is down there. And if you have any additional questions that you would love to follow up on, feel free to also reach out through the chat and we will be able to address them. If not here, also, we will continue the conversation in our community of practice, which Bernard Ondiek will speak on after this. Thank you, and over to you, Bernard. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Topista, for this opportunity. And thank you also to our panelists, Elizabeth Kimani, who will be coming later. So I have two areas to address. The first one, I'm going to introduce you to APHRC and also to the project that has given this webinar an opportunity. So I'm going to talk about that. And then after I'm done, I'm going to invite the speaker of the day. So allow me to share my screen. So my name is Bernard Ondiek, and I work at APHRC, and I'll be taking some time to speak about APHRC, who we are, and our mission, and what we are currently engaged with. And I'm going to start with our vision in APHRC, which is to transform lives in Africa through research. And our mission is basically generating evidence, strengthening research and related capacity in the Africa R&D ecosystem, and engaging policy to inform action on health and development. So we actually use research to transform lives, and this is evidence from the research, how research is used to make decisions, and the decisions directly or indirectly impact our lives. And the research is done, more and more people and evidence is used. So the people doing research use their expertise to support decisions that will impact their lives directly or indirectly. And some of the decisions that impact life include policy. So when there is a new policy, there is a change in policy, or maybe we want to operationalize a policy. Even program design and implementation, budget allocation, service delivery, and at the end of the day, also individual or community behavior. So APHRC has its footprints in around 35 countries. And as you can see from this map where we have our projects, so you can see we are covering more of the SSA countries. And our programmatic areas, we have three, that is the research. We also have the policy engagement and advocacy, and we also have capacity strengthening. And we have a varied model partnership, and this kind of partnership is dictated by the length, the duration in which the project exists. So, and some of our partnership models include formalized, some long time, much mutual learning and capacity strengthening, among others. So this project is actually housed within the research and related capacity strengthening. And the research and related capacity strengthening is actually made up of 3 units. And you can see that in these 3 units, there is some mutual working relationship within these 3 units. So the first one is the individual capacity strengthening. So this individual capacity strengthening, it actually aims to strengthen the technical, intrapersonal and interpersonal aspects of individuals' capacity in order to undertake high quality research or related functions. And at the end of the day, this contributes to the development and implementation of Africa's self-sufficiency in research and development. Then we have the institutional capacity strengthening. So this one tries to strengthen institutional capacities so that the collaborative development of or enhancing of systems, structures, and processes. And at the end of the day, this one also promotes research and development in Africa. Then we have the ecosystem, and this one also strengthens support structures, regulatory frameworks, and linkages for African research institutions and researchers so that we're able to become critical voices and drivers of the development agenda in Africa. So those are the 3 units within the research and related capacity strengthening at APHRC. So the project that has given us this opportunity to hold this webinar is the Afrique Research Support Hub. And this has been funded by Wellcome Trust. And the project runs between 2024 and 2027. So as per now, we are close to the mid of the project. We started it last year. And this Afrique Research Support Hub it provides practical research and grantmanship skills, which are actually key components required to conceptualize research and also provide a platform for successfully fundraising for it. And we are actually working with 3 satellite hubs. And the satellite hubs include the West and Central Africa. And we also have the Southern Africa, and we have the Eastern Africa. So the West and Central Africa hub concentrates on French and also English, because here we have the Francophone in this region. So we'll find that most of the activities that we do, we ensure that we have both the French and we also have English. And our plan is basically to provide study and access to resources for mentorship. We also find us providing light training and sometimes also intense training with protected time. And this is mostly for the post-PhD and also for the early career researchers. So how does this program work? So we target to provide resources to the participants, and these resources can either be through webinars, and we also have a virtual learning academy whereby we are able to provide some training. And I know some people in this, some participants in this webinar have also enjoyed some of our trainings. And then we focus on early career researchers and also on the people who are post-PhD. So we've defined several career paths. So for the early and mid-career researchers, we provide them with monthly webinars So we've done this webinar since the beginning of 2024. Then we also have self-paced trainings. And these self-paced trainings are actually housed within our virtual learning academy. And so far, we've taken through several cohorts, and I'll be mentioning that in the next slides. Then we also have facilitated training, whereby the people who've already gone through the self-paced get some time whereby they can be facilitated so that they can refine their concepts. And then we also have a community of practice whereby we have experts who can be able to communicate with each other. They can share knowledge. We can also generate knowledge through this. And it's also an opportunity whereby we are able to network with various people in given fields. Then for postdoctoral researchers, here we give them face-to-face training and mentorship. And so far, we've done one for East and Central Africa, which happened in Nairobi. And we'll also have another one that will happen in Dakar around in August. And then towards the end of the year, we'll have others targeting participants from the South African region. So we also match mentors. We match the participants with mentors for 12 months. And maybe at this level, I can also request, in case you're willing to be part of the mentors, not the mentees, the mentors, then you can actually drop us an email so that we can guide you on how you are able to do that. Then we also have seed grants, and these seed grants are for the people who have great concepts. So they're given seed grants so that they're able to further enhance their ideas, or maybe be able to implement some of the ideas that they have. 2 months ago, we advertised a course called the ARSH Grant Writing Workshop, and we got overwhelming response from the participants, and this actually showed that there is quite some need in terms of training in grantmanship. So we received close to 6,000 applicants, and out of this, we had 58% who are men and 42% who are women. And from this diagram, you'll be able to see how they have been divided in terms of the areas of research. So you realize that at 26%, we have medical sciences, and then we have social sciences coming at 25%. And then we also have biological, and also we have arts and humanities at 8.6%. So we were not able to give all of them an opportunity, but we are giving them opportunities in cohorts. And so far, we've done 2 cohorts, and now we are in the 3rd cohort. The first cohort, we gave them 50. The second cohort, we gave them 50 also. We opened it for 50 participants. And now the 3rd cohort, we've decided to increase. And the reason why we are going in those stages is so that we are able to enhance our peer review system. This peer review is actually done within the learning management system where the courses are housed. So out of this 100, they are able to go through the training. Then at some point, we give them an opportunity to submit a concept. Then once they submit the concept is reviewed internally within the participants. So the participants will review it. And then the best concepts are graded, and then they are taken to the next level. So we are hoping that by the end of this year, we'll have given all the participants an opportunity. And with that, we'll also have made our system so mature so that next time when we put an advert for people to take our courses, even if we get 1,000, even if we get 5,000 or even 10,000, we'll be able to give them an opportunity to take that e-course. Yeah, so for the first phase is actually enrollment. You do self-paced, Then we also have proposal writing. Then after the people who are successful, they are able now to submit their grant proposal. Then they are given an opportunity to get feedback from experts. So how should you engage us? So there's a group of participants that have already started engaging us through the e-course, and we've already enrolled them in the communities of practice. There are some who we met in the face-to-face training. So we have everyone in mind, and you can engage us by joining our self-paced courses. So we have courses that I'm going to share a link where you can be able to join the self-paced courses. Then you can also join our communities of practice. Again, I'm going to share a link with this. So of interest is the grant writing community of practice. So this is what is related to this webinar. So feel free to join this community of practice. And once you join the community of practice, make sure you create your account in the link. So this is the link, cop.aphrc.org. Then you can click on login. Once you have the account, then you can select a community of your choice. Then once you're there, do your self-introduction, and then you can engage through asking questions and providing answers. And one beauty about this community of practice is that we also share opportunities where we can share calls. If we have opportunities for research, we also share there. So it's a place that you should keep on checking to see what is there. And also you can keep on contributing your knowledge in that. And then it's also a space whereby you'll be able to meet experts. So make sure that you join this space. Yeah, so basically that's what I wanted to share with you about the courses. So on the chat, I'm going to engage you by sharing the link to the community of practice, so that after the webinar, you will be able to join. Then I'll also share a link to our virtual platform where we have courses, so that you can also see any course that you are able to take there. So allow me now to introduce the speaker of the day. So our speaker is called Dr. Elizabeth Kimani Orage, and she's a public health nutrition specialist and a senior research scientist, and she leads the Nutrition and Food Systems Unit, and also a theme called Health and Well-Being, located within APHRC. She works with APHRC. She's a dynamic and impact-oriented African research scientist and a leader. She transforms lives in Africa and promotes human rights through research, public engagement, policy influence, and capacity building. She champions research on maternal and child nutrition and zero hunger in Africa. And her current work focuses on food systems transformation and the linkages between climate change, food systems, nutrition, and health. She's leading a large Wellcome-funded project on the interlinkages between climate change and health in East Africa to catalyze policy and practice action at scale. She holds a PhD in public health, focusing on the double burden of malnutrition in South Africa from University of Wits, South Africa. She also holds a Master's of Public Health degree and a BSc in Environment, both from Moi University. She's an advocate of the High Court of Kenya with a special interest in human rights, holding a Bachelor's of Law from University of Nairobi and a postgraduate diploma in law from the Kenya School of Law. And she has greeted so many people in this in this world, so high profile people, because of the work that she does. And let's join. You can encourage her. She takes the floor by virtual claps. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much, Bernard, and thank you everyone, and thanks so much for the thumbs up or claps. Let me just upload my presentation. So good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, wherever people are. Yes, as Bernard has mentioned, my name is Elizabeth Kimani Murage, and I work at APHRC. So I'm going to talk about discovery research focused on the scheme by the Wellcome. So just briefly about what discovery research is about, and especially as it relates to the work of Wellcome. So it's discovery research is curiosity-driven science, and it's research that leads to new knowledge of life, health, and well-being. It explores fundamental questions, not just any small questions. These are questions that would generate new knowledge that would change how we think or we do things. So it's really fundamental. It's not just any small questions. It investigates how systems work and can generate frameworks or tools or models. It supports interdisciplinary collaboration and encourages ethical and inclusive practices. So this is about the vision and priorities of the Wellcome. So the research has to be curiosity driven. It has to be inclusive and foundational in nature. So aims on foundational work that can reshape understanding of how life, health, and well-being works. So these are the key characteristics: open-minded, not open-ended, not specific to specific outcomes. It doesn't have to be focused on specific outcomes. So you may discover along the journey the various outcomes. Bold and creative, it encourages original, high-risk ideas that push boundaries. So it's, as I said, it's really not just about small ideas. It's ideas that would change how we think or how we do things. It is. It's about. It can be from any discipline, biomedical to humanities. And the program of the Wellcome. It is global in scope. It is funds UK applicants. It funds people from Ireland and also low and middle income countries. And what it is not translational research for immediate clinical use. So if one is doing any kind of work that has some intervention aspect, it has to be really about like feasibility or very early kind of intervention kind of research, not translational research. Like it wouldn't be like implementation research. It is not limited to experiments, so it can be across disciplines, as I mentioned, and can also be about humanities. It's not only within Wellcome's challenge areas. The Wellcome challenge areas include climate change, infectious diseases, and mental health. Those are within their strategy, those are the things they fund. But for discovery research, they are open to any kind of idea. It doesn't have to fall under those three. It's not restricted by geography. So as I mentioned, it can be within UK, Ireland, or LMICs. And it's not dependent on large trials or extensive preliminary data. So I'll briefly talk about the discovery research funding schemes from Wellcome. And so Wellcome wants to support researchers and teams from any discipline. I had mentioned that, to pursue transformative research ideas, research that really transforms how we do things or how we think about things, or brings new understanding of things. So ideas that shift understanding that could improve human health or human life and well-being. And it can develop methodologies, conceptual frameworks, tools or techniques that could benefit health-related research. And Wellcome funds people from at all stages of their careers. It can fund, they fund early career researchers, mid-career researchers, and also established researchers. And as I mentioned, from any region here. So these are the three schemes for discovery research. The first one is the Early Career Awards, and this is for researchers ready to develop their research identity. So it's really early career within the first 3 years of PhD, after PhD. And it gives full salary for the researcher, the person, the early career researcher, and up to about £400 for research expenses. So whatever the salary is, they would fund that, then an additional 400,000 pounds, which is about 513 USD. And it's usually for 5 years, but it may depend on discipline. And also if you are taking it full-time or part-time. And then there is the Career Development Awards, and these are really for mid-career researchers, and they have those who are they have already had at least 3 years of experience postdoc, and then they want to continue being researchers and become research leaders. So this is for researchers with potential to be international research leaders, to develop their research capabilities. So this covers the principal investigator salary, and that is the researcher who is applying, and resources needed for the program of work. But can also add fund maximum of 4 full-time equivalent posts. And it's up to 8 years. You can do this research for 8 years. So you can imagine you can be funded for all your salary for 8 years plus other people you're working with and research expenses. They don't give a limit for the research expenses. And then Discovery Awards, and these are for established researchers and teams. And these are people who are already international research leaders, and they have been recognized as such generally, and they want to pursue bold and creative research. So there is usually an applicant who is the kind of the PI, and then applies with other co-PIs, co-applicants. It may be single discipline or multidisciplinary, and the person has to have international standing in the field. So they fund the resources needed for the program of work. So the salary plus any other research expenses needed up to 8 years. So the importance of the LMIC-led research for discovery research. So as I mentioned, Wellcome portfolio represents the international research landscape and supports strong and diverse network of global researchers. And they want to ensure that there is greater impact of research that they fund. So really, they want to fund people from diverse backgrounds and from different regions for greater impact. So these are some type of kind of things that or areas that discovery research funds or program funds. It may be about fundamental processes that underpin biology, or to understand more about how life works, complexities of human health and disease, including clinical and population-based approaches. It may be about methodologies, conceptual frameworks, technologies, tools or techniques. It may be also about needs, values, and priorities of communities. So really, if you have engaged communities and they give specific needs or priorities, then it can be focused on that, or social, cultural, political, and historical contexts of human health and disease. As I mentioned, it's not about translational research. So exclusive translational research is not funded, but they fund research that has translational potential. So they encourage that. So it could be feasibility kind of work that could lead to translational work, but they don't fund the translational research itself. So examples of areas funded are neuromechanisms of memory and learning, cultural understanding of mental health, AI models stimulating tumor growth, ethics and equity in health systems, climate health interactions, and many, many other kind of work that has been funded. So these are just examples from Wellcome's open mode portfolio for Africa and LMICs. So this is, some people have been funded from Kenya, Ghana, Vietnam, South Africa, Uganda. Like the work in Kenya and Vietnam about health systems governance and AMR, antimicrobial resistance, validating a novel biomarker, that's work in Ghana, transforming surveillance for malaria, that's work in Uganda, understanding family care of older persons, that is social sciences, and it's work in South Africa. And then pathogen biology, drivers for dengue transmission, that's work in Kenya. So it's really diverse and across disciplines. So you can see there is no specific disciplines. They are very open to any form of work. So there are opportunities across career stages. At whichever stage you are at, you can get funding. And often people think that they must have a UK partner. That's not necessarily the case. You don't need a UK partner, but often, but if UK partners offer the kind of mentorship you need, that's you can then get partners from there. But for career, for the early career and mid-career fellowships, you need a sponsor or mentors. So you need to think of who those would be. Encourages inclusive, diverse teams, and they are open to underrepresented disciplines and regions. These are just some tips, but this is not exclusive. They are exhaustive. There may be other things that you need to think about when applying for these Discovery Research Awards. So you need to frame the research around fundamental questions, not immediate solutions. Highlight originality and rigor and potential to shift understanding. Be open, it should be open-ended kind of work, and ensure enough time to prepare the proposal. This is very competitive. Usually these awards are very competitive, and you need a lot of time to prepare a compelling proposal. And if invited for interview, you need to practice and practice through mock interviews. So really practice and being very well prepared is very important. One of the things that also is very important is that when you are applying for these kind of awards, make sure you display expertise. So write first as if you are writing to an expert in the area, in this field of your expertise, so that when they see this kind of application, they know that you have the expertise needed, and it's not like anything that anyone would write. You have creative ideas in that field. But then also, so the proposals are usually evaluated by experts in the field, but there are other people who also evaluate who are not necessarily experts in the field. They are experts in their own field, but not necessarily in your field. So you need to have that balance, writing to the expert in your field, but also balancing to ensure that people who are not experts in your field can understand what you are talking about. So I want to acknowledge that this presentation borrows largely from Wellcome's resources on discovery research, and there are many resources. If you go to the Wellcome's page for discovery research, you'll see a lot of resources that are available for this. So you can be able to access those. Thank you so much. That's the end of the presentation. Back to you, Bernard.
Thank you so much, Liz, for that great presentation. And at this juncture, I'm going to open up for questions. So in case you have a question, kindly put it in the Q&A forum. I already see one. Actually, we have two questions that have already been asked. And then I'll also request, in case you want to ask the questions by speaking, we'll give you that opportunity so that you are able to speak to us and we can be able to answer. So the first question being asked is, do you have any partners or affiliates in Ghana? Lisa, you can answer that. Liz, you are on mute.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much. I'm asking, who is asking that question?
It's anonymous.
Oh, anonymous.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we have some partners from the University of Ghana. We work with people from the University of Ghana. We've been working with them for a long time. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Then there is also another question. Can an individual not currently working in an institution apply for any of these grants?
Not exactly. Okay, if you're not currently at an institution, what it is that you can still apply, but you have to suggest a host institution, and that institution has to demonstrate that it's a good environment for research, a good research environment. So you can apply, you can collaborate, you can already talk to an institution where you would want to be placed if funded, and they become your sponsor or your host. Then if you are funded, then because your salary will be funded, then you can you can be accommodated in that institution through that, but the administration has to be through that institution, not directly through you. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Liz. There's a follow-up question which I believe that you've tackled in your response. Someone is asking, just go to that question again. How can one identify? Okay, not that one. Let me just go to it. It's in the Q&A. Okay, now the questions are coming like a flood.
Oh.
Yeah, do I have to be under an institution or get a fund, or I can apply alone? I think you've partly answered that.
Yeah, you have to be, you can apply if you don't, you can affiliate yourself with an institution, even if you're not part of that institution at the moment.
Okay. Someone is asking, what is a good environment for research?
Yes. So a good environment for research, at least there has to be some high quality research happening in that environment, but also and high quality it's defined in different ways. One part of the high quality is that the team should be doing research that that is rigorous, rigorous, but also that they are doing engaged research. Wellcome really encourages engaged research, and engaged research means that you're doing research that addresses the needs of the communities and the context where you want to do the research. So you have to do engagement of communities, engagement of policy makers or policy stakeholders, so that you are aware of what are the needs and the priorities. And so that contributes to a positive research culture, which is part of that kind of research environment that I'm talking about. But also they recognize that the environment is context sensitive, and maybe the environment in Africa may be different from the environment in the UK. So they take note of that. So it doesn't mean that if you are in Africa, you can't get funding. But there are some considerations that I have mentioned that are put in place, but it's context sensitive. So you don't think that you can't be funded because you're in Africa. And in Africa, there are many concerns sometimes about facilities, because one of the things is really, do you have the facilities to do the research that you're suggesting? Like if you are suggesting lab-based work, do you have facilities to be able to undertake that research? Even if it's a field-based, do you have the resources, the facilities in place to be able to support your research? Yeah, so those are some of the considerations, but with that consideration that contexts differ and people may not have the same kind of resources or facilities across the different regions.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Liz. Then there's a question. I have seen that only post-PhD researchers are funded. How do you integrate people with graduates to funding and opportunities?
I know when you go to Wellcome's website, sometimes they fund people with who are doing PhD, but that's not part of this discovery. This kind of scheme is really about people who what I have seen is that it's for people who have done PhD and they are ready to become research leaders. So at the beginning of their career as researchers and even when they are established. But that doesn't mean that you can't be funded if you're I think that I'll encourage people to go to the website and see what situation, under which situations or conditions the Wellcome funds people who have not done PhD.